The stories in the Gospels tell a lot of stories about Jesus with crowds, with disciples, in a very rushed, very busy time of ministry. But something that's very common in what he does is he pulls away. He takes time to go into the wilderness. And when I was younger, I didn't really get it. I respected it, that's nice, and wouldn't it be nice if we could all do that? But I didn't understand that part of the rhythm, perhaps as the connection of the Sabbath in the creation stories. As a minister, I get the importance of that pulling away as a way to refill, renew, and gain perspective on my ministry, my personal life, and my spiritual life.
If I'm looking at the long haul of things, I've been called by God, I've endured ungodly numbers of courses and training, and I've got all this investment in my congregation. I want to be as completely available to my congregation as I can be, but I can't do it if I don't pull aside and take care of me. Nobody's going to take care of you. So that's what I think I'm doing.
I would not say it takes time out of my ministry. I think it's part of my ministry because it helps me to be better at what I do. It helps me to be more grounded. I also have resources with my colleagues, and hopefully they have resources with me. Somebody to bounce ideas off of. It's a healthy place to share things that I wouldn't necessarily share other places, or things that I could share but nobody would get. There's something very unique about being a pastor that folks that aren't in ministry don't quite understand. So when I put it on my calendar, it's under the tag ministry. It takes away from the things I'm accomplishing that week as far as getting worship together and a sermon written and all that, but it's part of my ministry.
I think continuing, it's like church, period, in terms of inviting people to come and be a part of the way of following and being Christ. Not everybody is ready in any given moment, but if we continue to invite them and give a witness of why it matters to us, maybe at some point they will make it to a certain season of their life and ministry that they remember that it's been offered and they're ready and they may join in.
If we talk about congregational health, it has to include clergy health, or you won't get to congregational health. So if health is a goal that we ought to set and say that's really important, we ought to work on it on both fronts. We ought to work on it on the congregational side, but we also have to work on it on the clergy side, and nobody will do that for us. We have to do it ourselves. We have to find a reason to seek our own clergy health.
There's just different stresses when you're the guy or gal, being the tip of the spear. And it's refreshing to go into a place where you can gripe and moan and everyone already knows what you're doing, because you can't make friends in the church. It's professional distance. Doctors don't make friends with their patients. Psychologists don't make friends with their patients. And yet we're in this weird dynamic where we're supposed to be friendly. They need to feel like we have some bond with them, but there has to be still a professional distance.
We make a covenant. Every fall we go over what is our covenant together, which is our guiding thoughts, our values. And then we make commitments to be present with one another. So it's not a low priority item in a month's worth of meetings. It's a thing I put on my calendar. I hold the space. I dedicate the space to my time with my colleagues. I think I'm a better pastor because of it. The idea that we would sit together and study together for an hour out of a month's time, to me is invaluable. The perspectives that I get from others, what I learn from one another, the way in which we come together, the nature of the group is very endearing.
Bring something to the group. And you're able to use the experiences you've had and the bumps and the tribulations and say, hey, I've dealt with that. I can help you. Or let's come together and counsel one another. And it's pastoral care for pastors, which is really nice.
We only meet once a month, but we start at 9:30 in the morning. Lunch is optional, so you could leave at noon, and some do, but most of us stay and go have lunch together. And it's a kind of a much more relaxed time to just be together and talk and have some food. So a lot of times that'll even go until 2 o'clock in the afternoon by the time we eat and sit around the table for a while. So yes, it can be.
They're close with other people, but it gets really close when you come in and you have a format that allows you to be totally yourself and allows you to have pain, allows you to have joy. And I mean, how cool is that? That's pretty cool.
With a peer learning group, it forces you to do self-care. It forces you to take a moment and stop and say, okay, am I really at the place I need to be the under-shepherd?
Maybe my church. I'm pretty busy leading in the church I pastor. This is a place where I can come and I can be a civilian if I want to be a civilian. Occasionally I am a chaplain in that setting. Always I'm a friend. Yeah, maybe it is a church.
I think it's just elemental. And of course, I'm speaking from someone who's only been officially in ministry for 2 years. But to have a group of peers that you trust, that you're in covenant with, that can give you advice, that can minister to you when you need it, is such a integral part of self-care, of keeping a clear head in ministry. So if you're not in a group, I would just urge you to find one. This can be such a lonely job, and even if you're only seeing these folks once a month, you just know somebody out there gets it and cares about you and is praying for you. So I just think it's essential.
I love that it is ecumenical in nature. I love it that it's a wider group than the certain group of UCC colleagues I've been with. So I'm even pushed to get to know some of my UCC colleagues more, those that I haven't had time with. But really, the benefit is to get to know my story and to be ready to share my witness, to feel stronger in who I am as a minister, and to take what I can to share with my congregation. But stronger and healthier ministers make for a stronger and healthier church. So find yourself a group. The way.
Join the way.
I mean it. It's the way. Amen.